Hello everyone, my name is Harley and welcome to TransByDef. This week's topic is surgeries, do's, or done, and wants. So just to pretty much wrap that up, I have not gotten any surgery done. So yeah, bye. I'm just kidding, but yes, I have not done any surgery before, so I know some people who have, and they're happy. One thing is, I guess I can kind of overview the different types of surgeries for male to female. There's the breast augmentation. There's also facial feminization. There's a lot of parts in the facial feminization. There's the brow bone, the nose job, the cheek implants, the shaving of the jawline. Most of these facial feminizations really particulate based on the profile of a person. So like like the side view of a person. The other thing is, I think there is the jawline shave. You also could do the trachea shave, which is the Adam's apple, and that shaves down. There's the voice box, like tightening up the voice box to make it more of a female sound. So another type, some other surgeries, there's the orchiectomy, which is just the removal of the testes. There's also the full sexual reassignment surgery. And there's other surgeries like rib removal and stuff, but there's some little finer details in that. For female and males, there's a couple main surgeries that are done. There's, I believe it's called top surgery or chest surgery, aka chest surgery, which is like the removal of the breasts. And I actually understand that because it's more like sometimes when you're wearing a tight bra, it's just so annoying. And I can only imagine when people are have a binder here and it's really tight. I can only imagine how uncomfortable that is. And so I understand the reasoning for that surgery. Then there's the SRS for female and males, but from talking to other female and males, I've heard that it's not too favored. It's not as great as what the male to female surgery does. So that's another thing. Then there's the hysterectomy, which is the removal of their uterus. Yes, I know a few transgenders who've gotten that done, and basically they were having complications with it. So it's that's more of like a preventive measure. I think the same thing with orchiectomy. I think after a while, it's probably you have to think of getting an orchiectomy or doing the SRS, just because it's it's something that's not being used now. It's so. The other thing is, and plus, with the orchiectomy for male and female, is you will lower your dosage of hormones because you're just on hormones so much. So that's always something to consider. As far as me, of what I've been planning, what I've been thinking, a long time ago, I've always was against surgery just because I was really just ignorant, didn't really know why the reasoning is. But now that I'm actually transitioning and I actually see more of why people will get surgery, it makes sense. It's more of like either a dysphoric feeling or just wanting to be feeling better about yourself. The thing is, like, as far as breast augmentation goes, I have not really thought about doing that. If I ever do, it would just be to fill in the cup, just the boob cup. The thing is, I'm still growing my boobs, so it's been years, but it's still growing. And that's one thing I wanted to point out is if you go and rush and get your breast augmentation, you may obviously if you don't have anything coming in, like there was nothing going on, then it's obvious. But you really should give yourself time with breast, because it takes a while to grow, and it may just be different combinations of hormones that will trigger the breast growth. Everyone's different. The other so it takes a while. Think about teenage girls. It takes girls, cisgender girls, it takes a long time before their breasts actually you know, get fully developed. I mean, they're still technically growing, you know. So, I mean, there's always those things, so you got to think about it that way. You know, so breast augmentation is okay, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, it's a quick fix, you know, to something if you're wanting breasts. Facial feminization, now there are some things about that. I originally was going to do facial feminization a long time ago because I was just sick of looking at myself in the mirror and seeing a guy back, and then eventually I felt like, oh man, I wasn't passing, I wasn't blending. Originally it was the passing term, you know, people were like, oh, you pass or you fail. It's like, no, I kind of consider it blending. But now that I'm actually been full-time for over a year now, I'm starting to realize that, you know, I think I blend pretty well. So, you know, there are aspects that, hey, you know, kind of identify me more masculine, but then when I realize it, I start looking at other females that are cisgender females, even actresses. Some of them have that pronounced jawbone, or some of them have the brow bone, or a bigger nose, or you know what I'm saying. So it starts making me question why do I need to go for facial feminization? Is it to look beautiful, to look attractive? You know, I start thinking of that, and why do I want to look beautiful? Why do I want to look attractive? Is it for me? Is it to so I can look in the mirror and say, God, you're sexy? Or is it for other people to look in the mirror, look at me and say, God, you're sexy, you know, or something like that? Why is that, you know? And I'm still trying to answer that question, you know, myself, but I haven't really like looked at it. But you know, I kind of took a step back from facial feminization just because I feel that I've gotten to a level where I'm comfortable at, and you know, that's another urge of not rushing into surgery, because it may just take you a while to start feeling comfortable with yourself after you're starting to take your hormones and stuff, if you're doing the hormone stuff. Another thing is orchiectomy, or SRS. I've also thought about doing that. I used to be non-op, like, but now I'm kind of considering op, because and this is what the coolest part, and this is why I always like to say take steps, you know, because like, here's the thing, and it's kind of interesting, is like I had a lot of dysphoria when I was, you know, before I transitioned, and when I started taking hormones and started transition, I didn't realize that all that dysphoria was mostly based of not living as a female. It wasn't about the downstairs department here. It was really about living as a female and being myself. And I didn't realize that that was all the dysphoria that was, most of the dysphoria that was building up, not all. But however, for some transgenders, it is all the dysphoria. So you don't want to rush into getting SRS, because you never know. After a while, you might be on, you know, might be full-time for over a couple of years, and you're like, man, wow, you know, I actually don't need SRS, I'm comfortable, you know. And so that's what you gotta have to realize and understand. Right now, like, knowing I've been over a year of, you know, full-time, I'm starting to really see more of a clearer picture of the still little dysphoria that still is there, and it's based on my anatomy. And you know, I'm trying to deal with it. I'm trying to see if I can handle it and still be able to live with it. And so those are just questions for myself, you know. And no one should ever tell you you should get it or you shouldn't get it. You just have to let that be a decision for you. But definitely take the time and think about it. But if I don't go with SRS, most likely I probably would go with the orchiectomy, just because it will lower the hormones, you know. And I'm already like 20, I'm 28, almost 29, and you know, I don't want to continue. I'm actually on a very high dosage from my doctor for hormones. So my doctor was saying, yeah, that's the highest she ever provides for you know, pills, you know, pill form, and it makes me concerned. So it makes me think maybe I should think about orchiectomy or SRS, but you know, just to reduce that. So those are considerations. As far as like trachea shave and stuff, I've seen some cisgender girls with Adam's apples, and you know, I don't really, like, I feel it, but I don't really have a pronounced one. So, you know, that I don't think I would do that, or even the voice box, because actually, to be honest with you, I like my voice. I like the ability to go very deep, to go very high, and, you know, be able to do that, especially when singing, because, like, I could possibly, and I'm trying to learn how to really master the female singing voice, but I definitely could sing male. I could definitely sing a really good male voice with, like, you know, opera type of stuff, as well as like, you know, rock and roll, and actually just singing, you know. And then with the female voice, I can just sing, you know, like, and probably do some opera a little bit, but I haven't mastered the female rock sound, you know, the rock voice. So, but, you know, I like the fact that I can do that. Once you get that surgery, it may not even be the voice you recognize, but it may just be very airy or something like that. But, you know, I've heard about surgeries like that, but I don't really think that's a must unless you're really having issues and you just don't want to really, you know, unless you're really having issues trying to work that muscle out. So I guess I can understand it as a shortcut, you know. But anyways, you know, if you have any arguments about anything I said, just let me know. I'm very reasonable, so, you know, I don't get upset about any arguments. I kind of like look at it and just say, actually that makes sense, so I agree with you, you know, or something like that. So anyways, I'm going to end it with that. Everyone be safe. Hope you have a good time, you know. See you next week. Bye.